Alright, so we shall now do this, we shall finally import. Now that we are done with the results for 12C, we would like to import this now. A few things that we need to do. First, remember, for each subject, we were adding a blank line just to separate it from other subjects. This was merely for us to be able to tell where does the next subject start from. Okay, but before we import our data, we need to actually remove those blank lines. Otherwise, we may end up getting some errors like where it can't insert now, here, and there. So, if you start from the very beginning, after 1, remember there was a blank line, this one, so we need to delete it. After 3, there's a blank line, we remove it. After 5, there's a blank line, remove it. Of course, one other way you could do this is to change it into, you could change it into here's one thing that I actually forgot to do. Yeah, I just remembered something here. So let me undo. So let's have this as it is for now. One thing that I forgot to actually do is this. One other thing. In fact, I've done what to remember this. We might actually have to verify or change these scores that we put here. So before you start copying your data, if you go to here, you might notice that there are actually differences in the way these names are sorted. Notice something here, that initially it appears like these are sorted, but it seems there were some people that were being added afterwards. You see, for instance, here you have this Mbewe Alice at the very end, and this Chilando Mpasi. Right, they're coming after Zulu. So this shows that these were added maybe towards the end. So if you're assuming, because the list that we exported from here was already sorted. Okay, if I was to show you, if I show you this list from 12C that we exported from the system, notice that Chilando is actually here. He's not at the very end. So one thing we've actually done is that we've misplaced his result. We've exchanged it with somebody else. Okay, so this is a very important thing which I've actually just remembered, that before you start copying the results, the first thing you must do is to ensure that this list of pupils is also sorted according to the way the system sorts the pupil lists, and that is sort by last name and then first name. Okay, that's how we should do it. And to do that, you need to change this into a table. Okay, you must change this into a table. So how do you format your data into a table? Just select like the first cell and then go to home and then format as table. You can select any of these table styles and say my table has headers, yes, then okay. So you can see that it has assigned headers to all these to your entire table. And then you go to data and then go to sort. Okay, let me do that again. So we were on home where we're doing this format table, and then we went to this data here. Alright, so click data, and then we want to use this functionality here called sort. So we click on sort, then we tell it that we want to sort by first last name, then add another level. There, click here, it says add level, and then say after sorting by last name, sort by first name, and we're sorting in ascending order, A to Z. Alright, so the last names will be sorted, for example, Banda first and then Chilando and whatever. That's how it's going to do it. And then we can say okay. So notice that now it's going to switch, and there is Chilando now showing up there, and it switches everybody around. And this is what we need if you want to make sure that you are copying the right results for the right pupils. And this is why I keep emphasizing that please only do this once when you're trying to migrate your data from Excel into this system. Don't make it a habit that people can submit in Excel and then you want to import. You end up making a lot of mistakes because of these things where you have to start copying and trying to process to prepare your data for import. Alright, so now that we are sure, we're sure that our results are correct, we have to redo. We have to copy this, and this is something that you first do this, and then you do the step that we did before in the previous video. All right. So it's good that we notice that that we had missed this step before. So we have to copy the results again. So we know that maths was ID1, and then we have to redo all this. Maths was ID1, and we come over here and repaste the results there like that. Okay. And then the next one was here was English. So next was English, which is 3. So we go back and paste the results for English. And then the next one is biology over here, like that. And then the next one is science. And the next one is civic education. Civic education is number 7. And then the next one is home management. Click that first cell, shift click the last cell, copy home management number 11. For most of the people, you see that it's not changing. It's because they are okay, except those who were like added towards the end, whose results were swapped. So those are the ones where it's changing, just in case you think it's not doing anything. Then literature in English was the next one. We'll copy this, paste. Then RE is the next one. RE is there. And then art is the last one. Okay, so you can see. So now we can can rest assured that we now have the correct result. Okay, we had to sort. So remember that there's this list that we exported from the system for our template, and it sorts names, starting with the last name and then the first name. But it's possible that what you have in Excel might not be sorted accordingly, so you have to sort it. So what I did was I formatted this into a table, and then I used the sort functionality by going to data and then sorted by last name and then sorted by first name. So now everybody's in the right order, and then I can just map them to their IDs that I got from the system. So now we want to go to the step where we import this data actually into the system. And what I was saying then at the beginning of this video is we need to remove the blank lines that we added. Okay, the blank lines that we're adding to separate the subjects. So first, let's save what we have. Remove the blank line after 1. Remove the blank line after 3. Now what you could also do, a quicker way, which I'm not showing you right now, is you could make this into a table, then filter by blanks, for example on the last name, so to show you all the rows which are blank, and then just remove them, and that's it. But we are going with the other way, which you might find maybe easier for you. So I'll remove that, and then after 6 I'll remove the blank line. After 7 remove the blank line. After 11 remove the blank line. After 12 remove the blank line. After 10 remove the blank line. Then we have 13. So that's the end. We save again. I just press Ctrl S. The last thing that you have to do is to save this as a CSV, but also change the name. Instead of saying results 12c, save it as just results.csv. So remember that when we are doing for pupils, you save them as pupils.csv. The results, you save them as results.csv. Okay, regardless of the class. So you have a copy for 12c, but now, and in fact, before you do that, remove the first row. Okay, first let's save it as a CSV. So we just remove this 12c there, and then here we pick CSV, this one, comma delimited, and then save. It will tell us, oh yeah, there's already some file because we already did for 12d. So yes, we're just going to overwrite that. We don't need it. We say okay, and we also need to remove the first, the same way we did for pupils. We also do it here. So we remove this, and then the other thing we need to remove is these two columns. Okay, because the system doesn't need the last name and first name. It only needs the IDs, the subject ID, the score, the year, the term, the class, and the school ID. So we don't need these last name and first name. We also delete them. So what are the things that we did? First, we removed the blank lines that we're using to separate the subjects. Next, we saved this as a CSV. Then next, we removed the header column. And then last, we removed those two columns for last name and first name because we don't need them. Then you must save your file again. After you save it, just go through one more time and see that everything is okay. If you're sure, just close it, because if you're trying to import while it is open in Excel, you're going to get an error. So you must close it and then go to the system here, go to external data, import pupil CSV. Now even if it says pupil CSV, actually it allows you to import pupils, results, and teachers. You can do that. Okay, so just click on browse, and there is the file that we want, and you folder forward, and then you say results, then just say import, and it tells you import completed, so it's done. And if you want to verify that you have the results, you can go to gradebook, then go to view subject results. Now the system saves these results in the old format where we used to separate the end term results from assessment results. So what you actually need to do is, once the results are imported, simply move, just come to this part here where it says move old end term results to, so there's an assessment that we had to define. So it could be that you haven't yet defined assessments, right? So you must go to assessments first, then add an assessment called, say, end term. Save it. Once you have it, then you go to view, then say move your results to end term, and then say, so you can see here that the only class that is that has results is 12. If you say 12c, you're not going to see your results. It's because they've been saved in the old format. But if you say move and then say yes, it will tell you that it has moved 1116 records. If you say okay, and try to just try to change that to 12d and then to 12c back, you see that now it shows you the results here. Art and design, it will show you biology. These are all the scores that we're entering there, so you have it automatically. All right, now does this seem like a lot of work? Yes, it is a lot of work, and that is why schools shouldn't just send them to us and say, please can you. It takes a lot of time actually to do this, but the amount of time that you take to do this is shorter as compared to the time you're going to take to enter these things manually for each subject, each pupil, each class. You take a longer time actually. So imagine if I had to enter these results one by one for 12c, one by one, entering all these one by one. It would have taken longer than I have taken in this video. Alright, so in the beginning, it's fine to do this import from Excel, but afterwards, let each teacher, the teacher for math can log into the system and submit his results. The teacher for English, the biology one, they all submit their results, and then you don't have this pressure of adding everything at a go and by one person. Okay, that's one thing. So this is how you do the import, and in the next video I'm just going to run quickly to show you an example of a junior section class, and then you can do the same for every other for every other class. And that should be it. So this is an example of just one assessment, and then if you have different assessments, you're actually not sure, because if you have different assessments in the future, then we might have to here in the template we need to introduce the assessment ID, so where you have to fill in not only the subject ID and PPO ID, but also which assessment it is. But it will be a similar thing, you know, where you have to first add an assessment and then show the assessment IDs like that. Put the assessment ID, show it, then it will show you, oh, this assessment ID 1, and then in the template you simply put this number, say this for assessment 1. But for now, these results that I'm submitting are for NTEM, and that's how I'm submitting like that. Thank you for your attention.